are at the Oklahoman's Video Studio with Lisa Reed, Joan Bryant, and Debbie Mentor. I'm Helen Ford Wallace with Parties Extra, which is brought to you by our sponsor, Party Galaxy. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Well, we are happy to have you here to talk about the Oklahoma City Orchestra League's 43rd Symphony Show House. You are open and ready for people to come through your fabulous house, so tell us a little bit about it.
It is located at 439 Northwest 15th Street in Heritage Hills. It's one of those beautiful mansions that you've probably all driven by and thought, wouldn't it be nice to go inside one of those? And now's the perfect chance.
Oh my gosh, and it's got big old columns and it's steps up there, and it's an elegant house.
It's more than 100 years old.
Is it?
It's very grand.
Who owned that house?
Frank Pearson Johnson and Ada Allen were born and grew up in Mississippi. They met and married there, and her father came from, he went out west, and he said to the young couple, you know, there's opportunities out here. So in 1895, they came to Oklahoma City in Oklahoma Territory.
And there was nothing down there when they moved in this house.
It was a boom town. And Frank tried newspaper, which he had done in Mississippi, and then he tried insurance, and he tried school teaching, and then he found his niche in banking. And he and his brother Hugh, who also came here, had two different banks, and they joined them, and that became First National Bank and Trust.
So, and then they moved into this house.
They bought the land for $5,500.
Nothing around it, probably.
Not, well, the Overholser Mansion
was there.
Was on the corner. And when Frank Johnson-Hightower was a young boy, and he was visiting they called her Mama Layla, his grandma Ada, she would say, we're going to go down and visit Miss Annie. And that meant they were going to go down and sit on the porch at the Overholser Mansion and visit.
That's cute. So how many rooms how many designer rooms?
We have about 35 areas that have been decorated by 20 designers, both inside and out.
Oh, all over. And the point is that people can go in these rooms and look at them, get ideas, actually make purchases. Is that right?
They can, and they can get to know the designers and have the same exact thing done to their homes as well.
Well, is there a particular theme? I mean, do you have a...
You know, they've really kept with the theme of the house, which, Joan, what is the theme? It's
kind of early
Oklahoma history.
They've stayed with
but it's
the
modern.
art style of the house.
It's a regal style.
It's French Regency style, which Frank Johnson-Hightower was really fond of. Originally, it was all heavy Victorian from Frank Pearson Johnson and Ada. And so some of that was updated. The dining room is original, the original mahogany paneling. And
that is a beautiful dining room.
It is a beautiful dining room with silk hand-painted panels. That's original to the house. But they changed some elements to the French Regency style.
And on the second floor, you said, I think, that it's a more modern look? Little modern bedrooms are kind of modern, or...
There's a study off the master bedroom that is still very much original. It has beautiful paneling as well.
18th century oak paneling imported from Europe.
Wow, you all. Well, that just sounds fabulous.
It really is.
So you're 2 weeks into it. So how much longer do you have?
We run through May 22nd.
May 22nd. And what time?
Our hours during the week, Monday through Saturday, it's 10 to 4, and then on Sundays it's 12 to 5. And we have a shuttle that runs from a parking lot off of Western between 19th and 20th, or people can park on the street as well. But the shuttle's definitely very convenient and runs continuously. So
they can get there without having to walk down.
Easily.
However, it's a nice walk because the homes are so pretty. Okay, so how many square feet does the house have?
It's 9,000 square feet.
Basement? Does it have a basement?
It does have a basement. We're not touring the basement, but we are touring 3 floors. Now, the top floor was originally a ballroom, but at one point was converted to a playroom and a nanny's quarters and a nursery. And the playroom was one of those where when you saw it empty, you know, there were some other rooms where they're just beautiful to begin with. And of course the designers were going to work their magic and it was going to be even more beautiful. But the playroom I wasn't so sure about. But when the designers did their thing. It's just absolutely incredible, and a place I would want to spend all my time if I was living in that house. It's lots of fun.
I read in the Oklahoman it has a swing or something in it. Is that right?
It does. One of the designers told the story of how she had come to play in the house as a 6-year-old, and that there was a swing on the 3rd floor. And so the designer who did that room actually incorporated that.
That is awesome. It's a big room.
It's huge. It's got lots of different play areas, lots of storage, beautiful windows, built-in beds underneath the windows. It's beautiful.
Okay, and so what's the reason for the show house? Do you raise money?
We do. It's the largest fundraiser for the Oklahoma City Orchestra League, and it benefits the Symphony, the Oklahoma City Philharmonic, and our music education programs, which right now are more critical than ever with all of the cuts in schools.
You bet. So, and there's a boutique? Is there a boutique? What do you sell in the
There
boutique?
is a boutique there, and we try to have that every year. And we've partnered with 2 vendors this year that really what they've tried to do is bring together things that have a lot of very shabby chic vintage look in the clothing wear. They have denim wear, infant wear, interior design wear, as well as gift ideas. And those proceeds also benefit the league, and they help us to grow our educational programs.
And you're selling Michael Hightower's book, right?
Yes, we are. There's 2
in
books.
the boutique, or is
They're throughout the house. You can see them throughout the house, but they are in the boutique also, and those proceeds also benefit our programs that we go throughout the community and offer.
And his books are on pioneer banking, you said?
Yes.
So he's got some banking books and the history.
History of the family and banking in Oklahoma.
Neat books to have right there to sell. I thank you all. Okay, so also outside, what's outside? Pool of the sculpture?
There is no pool, but we have partnered with Calvert's. They've come in and did a beautiful job. The front porch is so inviting as you walk up those stairs, and you see the furniture that has been put on the porch, and we find people just lazing out there as they leave the house, waiting for the shuttle, and it might go by once or twice before they finally decide to leave that front porch because it has such a vantage point looking out through those gorgeous homes that are surrounded by that particular home.
I have been to many parties in that house where the party was out there,
It's
right
beautiful.
on the porch. It is a great place.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Great place.
And there is a statue that was commissioned by Danny B. and Frank from Leonard McMurray, who also did the Buffalo Bill Cody statue on horseback with his gun raised high at the Cowboy Hall of Fame. He did that for them, and that's on display there at the side yard.
So you got lots going on outside too, inside and outside, I guess. So you all, do you have a lot of volunteers working the house?
We do. We have a couple of shifts of volunteers.
We have
a day.
hundreds. It takes so much to put this together. We actually start about October, and that's really when we begin the search for a home and speaking with our designers and engaging them, setting up dates for them to come look at the home, as well as the many volunteers we're scheduling for various groups throughout the community that come in and help us by the handful, and we could not do it without them.
And you've had parties there. You've had a designer's party, a media party, a neighbor's party?
Yes, we do private tours available, which not everyone knows about that, but if you have a group, it could just be your bridge group, it could be the Red Hat Society. We have multiple groups come through, and they get a private tour of the home. They get a little bit more in-depth history, which you don't always are able to hear when you have large crowds going through. So you get a little bit more intimate view of the home and some of the history.
And you invited the neighbors in, is that right?
Yes, we did.
You all know that's kind of nice to do.
Well, we kind of encroach on them for a couple of weeks, so we feel that's the least that we can do for them. But we do bring them in and let them tour the house before the house is even opened, and just to let them know that we're here, we understand that this is their homes, and that we don't want to be too intrusive. But we want to just tell them thank you.
They were happy to come in.
They were. They were very excited about that.
Some of them may not have seen that wonderful house. So it is a beautiful house. Well, okay, so any other orchestrally projects going on after this is over?
We have 18 joint programs with the Oklahoma City Philharmonic, and they range in age from small children all the way up to seniors, and so always something good going on. We have music competitions every spring. We have We've got rhythm and our instrument playgrounds where children who might not have the opportunity otherwise can play hands-on with musical instruments and perhaps discover their talent or their passion.
Awesome. Well, and how about any other fundraisers?
We have the Maestro's Ball in the fall. We did our first one last year. And
How'd
so
that
that
go?
will be coming up again in
Oh, so
October.
you're continuing on,
Correct.
annual.
We'll be doing it again.
Yes.
And that's kind of a cool name, Maestro's Ball.
This is our 43rd show home. The first one was in 1974, and it was in Nichols Hills. And we found that our patrons really do enjoy going to this more historic type communities. We've done townhomes down at Deep Deuce, where we had the brownstones. We've had new homes and new developments, but the people really tend to gravitate more towards the historical type homes that they do drive by and they think, wow, I'd love to tour that home. So 1974 was our first show home, and we've been been very successful. And we've gone to conferences throughout the years, and people really just try and say, how can we mirror what you do? You've been so successful, because it is very hard to maintain something like this large of an organization as well as this type of a fundraiser on a regular basis.
I guess that's true.
It's very hard.
So tickets, how do we get tickets?
You can go online at www.okcorchestraleague.org. You can get those online. You can also get them at the door.
Oh, you can? Oh, good.
Yes, and there are, if you go on our website, you can also find various locations throughout the city that have them in their stores.
Thanks, Lisa, Joan, and Debbie, for telling us about the show house this year. It sounds like the best one ever, and we don't want to miss it. Oklahoma City is really lucky that the Orchestra League continues the great tradition of these show houses. Good luck with this one.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.